Hi, I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to talk to you about the Motes theory of life and the amazing Father's Day sale that we have going on, ladies and gentlemen. So, leading up till Father's Day, if you purchase Motes Theory of Life, my new book, you can buy one and get the next one half off. I mean, this is a chance to help your father become a better person of impact and inspiration. You do not want to miss this opportunity. So with that being said, motestheory.com is the place to go. You do not want to miss out, baby. What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Chilling, man. You know, let's see. I broke out my new Pirates hat, just for you because I know how much you're going to be watching Pirates baseball once it starts back up. I felt it in my soul that Deke. And don't tell me the hat that you have on today.
I got the Pirates hat on.
Turn it around. Let me see.
Huh?
Is that Pirates? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the old school socks one. I was like,
Boston.
No.
Nah, man. I got the Bucks hat.
Okay.
Let me think here. Well, what you were saying about the whole Pirates thing, I was actually thinking about that. And I was like, man, I don't have a Pirates jersey. I might call up my brother and get a Pirates jersey just for this one and just say, let's go Bucks.
You're funny, bro.
Here we go.
You're funny.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
I got Pirates jerseys, ton of pirate hats. Yeah, bro.
You do?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're a bigger fan than me, huh?
I'm just saying, bro. And I'm not about to sit here and tell you that I'm about to watch all these games.
They're gonna be on. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
until they start really tanking it.
Whatever you say, bro. But man, of lately, still a nation. Pittsburgh Steelers been in the media. Whether it was media people talking about the Steelers, current Steelers talking, or legendary Steelers sharing some very top secret information, if you want to believe it or not. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this would have been yesterday, actually, bro.
Yes, I saw something that it came out a couple days ago, but this randomly started circulating.
So I'm like, it came out sometime this week. That's what we do know. But what we're talking about is James Harrison, aka Debo, was doing. Let's see, I think it was on Barstool. That's where I saw he was on Barstool.
Willie Cologne.
Yeah, doing an interview. And he was talking about the $75,000 fine that he had received. I think the hit was on Muhammad Massaquoi.
Yep.
He was saying that a couple of things. First, that after the hit, once they got back to Pittsburgh, he received an envelope from Coach Tomlin. He said that was the most G-est thing ever, most gangsters thing ever. Shout out to that situation. But then he also said that if he would have known he was going to get fined $75,000, he would have got his money's worth, meaning he probably would have killed Muhammad.
That's what he said. He really would have laid into him that the hit, that even though looking at it, it looks awful, he only really went halfway at it.
Yeah.
He would have really went all in.
Yeah. And I can testify to that, man, in terms of Debo, if he really wanted to take that man out, he could have. But any athlete, especially defenders, will tell you, like, when you got a receiver in that position, you don't even have to hit them hard per se for them to fold up like that. And then depending on how the person falls down, it just makes it look amplified. Yeah. Which we all were kind of seeing in some of these plays.
Yeah, and how the arms of Debo extended out, looking like a swim move, and it was so elaborate. Yeah. That definitely played into it as well.
But I tell people too this, man, the thing that you can see the difference in terms of how hard he was hitting him and stuff, if your arms are extended, you really didn't try to kill that person like you wanted to. Because the arms, like, when you're taught to
would it be short? Like, if you really went in the
you'd
shoulder.
Be shoulder, you would be more extended, like coming out of your butt, your legs and stuff like that. So your body angle would be drastically different. The arms part lets you know that you gave him a pop, but you more so, it's like a glorified pop.
Yeah, you didn't use your lower body as much.
Right. You didn't try to explode into him. And that's why it was kind of like, and we would get mad on defense too, because we felt like some of these guys on offense, yes, they are getting hit.
Flop.
But sometimes
flopping.
Well, we already know that they do encourage that. I mean, in terms of, hey, if the receiver acts like he got shot, they go get a flag. And then you rewind and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. We've seen that. So I definitely can agree with him in that regard. And I mean, I got fined for similar stuff, man. So trust me, it's all good. I know the fella.
Well, that was a weird time with the NFL because that's when things really started.
Fines started to pick up, and Debo was the poster boy.
No, he was.
He was.
So, yeah, it's kind of all understandable with his sentiments of, I would have really laid in. And I feel bad for whatever poor soul, just in this case, I guess, Massaquoi. But, I mean...
Remember, he had two bodies that game. He had Colt McCoy that game as well.
Well, I don't know if he ever did this, though, in any other game where Goodell or someone, the NFL fined him, and he really did want to start laying out people the 100% like that and wanted to almost
I'm sure he thought about it, but at the same time, you have to remember how much money he was getting fined.
Yeah. No, I'm good. This is a random call from I have no clue. Yeah.
But I was just remembering like with Debo, like I'm sure he wanted to like lay into guys more out of, spite and anger because of the fines. But when you look at how much money this man was getting fined, like I remember this is my rookie year. I'm like, bro, I think I got fined, was it 11 grand? And it got reduced to I think 7 or 8. I'm looking at that and I was sick. When I saw he got 75 for one hit, I said, oh my God, like this is nuts.
That makes sense then why he would say if I know you're finding me this amount then.
And then
because you're probably just not trying to get fined at all.
Right.
You don't want to give up any money.
That led to him making the statement about if Roger Goodell was on fire, the different things that he would not do to put him out. And I was like, wow, all right, this dude's talking to the commissioner like this. I've never met this guy, but I love him. And that was his whole mindset though. But I could definitely understand, and when you get to know Debo and have that personal relationship with him, and just hearing his mindset and how everything was transpiring back to back to back with these fines, I could totally understand that and why their relationship, talking about him and Goodell, was what it was, or currently is what it is. Hopefully it might have gotten a little bit better, but who really knows?
True. And I remember us as Steeler fans and just Steeler Nation, we were furious with it.
Because, it was crazy.
I mean, we loved Debo. Whenever he came on and, his run was unreal during the Super Bowl year and just that, that 4 or 5 year stretch in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I mean, he was completely nuts, and we thought it was always unfair, and we were with him all the time. I mean, it was kind of like a family thing. We were like, this is just getting ridiculous with these hits,
bro. I just remember, man, anytime you watch the highlights of these hits, you're like, yo, this is nuts. But I mean, you love it as a defender. I mean, that's how you play the game, man. You send messages, you become that scary enforcer type guy, man, that people don't want to play against. And if you're doing that, you're intimidating the right way. And if you talk about the guys in the Steel Curtain era, they did the same things. They were talked about in the same vein. And that's why these guys are what you call your quote unquote legendary Steelers. Like they're just in a class all by themselves in that regard. But I guess the thing that we really want to talk about though is, I mean, while we're going down Debo memory lane over here, shouting them out and everything like that.
Yeah. But I guess we were just waiting to get to that point.
but in terms of the main, I guess that was the first part, but the main headline was he received the envelope from Coach Tomlin and the reason why it's a big deal, if it is true, because we don't know, and we'll get into more of that, but the reason why it's a big issue is because the way the fines are structured and set up, that once a player is fined, he is not allowed to be reimbursed or compensated by the club, by any players, coaching staff. Nobody can reimburse him. He has to be the sole person paying that. And that's that. If not, then they transition into that whole bounty thing, which was why Sean Payton was upset, because he said, well, man, essentially what's going to happen is you're going to sweep it under the rug because of the Steelers. Whereas remember, they did the whole witch hunt where it was Greg Williams who was basically in charge of the whole the whole bounty gate thing. But because it was under Peyton got in trouble. Remember, the whole organization was getting fined and things like that. So that's why he was a little upset.
Is that more his complaint, is that he was the scapegoat?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I'm the scapegoat here. But this guy, James Harrison, just went on and admitted that Coach Tomlin was, the way they are putting it out there is as if Coach Tomlin had paid him back for the money that he was fined.
Right.
And that was exactly what they said the whole bounty thing was, when they were giving guys extra money to go do dirty hits and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess the difference, I don't know what the line is or whatnot, but it seems with the Saints one, and I'm not 100% sure on this either. Maybe you could attest to this, but it seems like that was more beforehand. Where,
what do you mean? Same time frame.
No. Beforehand, as in, all right, you take this guy out, we're going to pay you. Whereas this, if were to be true, only an envelope. We don't know. It could, it could be a written note or something. It could be a gift card. I don't know.
Well,
but,
even if it was a gift card, then technically that's a violation.
maybe just one to like Applebee's or something, like a $25.
Still a violation.
All right, so that let's just say it was a handwritten note.
Like,
then.
what?
Party invitation. Hey, it could be anything. It was just an envelope. We don't know what was in it. But if it was the money. Then that was more like less after the fact. It seems like just from this story.
Right. Well, the thing
after the fact, and just saying, "Hey, I'm looking out for my player." Where the bounty gate thing is almost beforehand.
Right.
Do this, and then you get money for it.
But the two things where they are very similar is this: it wasn't as if James Harrison was only fined one time.
Right.
So if that was the theory that you were going with, in terms of he only gave it to him after the fact. Remember, James still went on to get fined multiple times, even after that Browns game. So was this the first thing, and then from there, now it's become status quo?
Right. We don't know what happened after the fact.
So anything where if you,
it's not a good look. We'll put it.
Yeah.
We'll put it.
I'll put it like this, man. If we're defending this situation, don't go the route of who knows what was in the envelope, because the intent is there and it doesn't look good. And tradition, what they say, where there's smoke, there is fire. So I would rather the whole debate or defense be, well, maybe the envelope thing never happened.
Well,
because that's a lot safer than the route you're trying to take of who knows what's in the envelope. What if it's this?
It can't be proven. So,
well, you're right, but at the same time, if James is saying that, who knows what can or cannot be proven? Who knows what else he would say?
What do you mean?
So, for example, nobody even knew about this incident until what? Until James said it, right?
Yeah.
So, if James said, I feel some type of way about Coach T, and I want to continue on this thing about the organization as well, because I know they would get the ramifications of this, what's to stop him from saying, well, you know what? Shoot, actually, it was $500,000 in that envelope. Can't prove it, but I'm telling you what it was. I'm testifying. That's a different situation now. You don't have to worry about the proof because you got a guy that was directly involved with it who's admitting that this is what it was. You see what I mean?
Who's admitting it? James?
James, yeah. It wasn't like somebody did an investigation and found out about the envelope. James said that. So if James really wanted to go down that path, he could. It's different.
So what scenario plays out where this happens?
If James wants to continue to push this thing, like, that's the issue. He just simply said it out there, and that's why you saw Mr. Rooney have to come on and make a statement about it.
You think he would, because other people are saying now, Mr. Rooney and his agent saying, this never even happened, where that could almost be poking him more and saying, I ain't lying.
Right, because now you're trying to assassinate his character. Or is his integrity? Is he telling the truth? Is he not telling the truth? So that could inspire him to say more, to reveal
He's
more.
not part of the team anymore.
And you know how it left, man. It was on bad terms.
Yeah.
And ultimately, in that same interview that he did, he was talking about a little bit of his departure in that last year in 2017 and how everything played out. And I had the first-hand seat, man, in terms of being able to watch it and communicate with him throughout the whole situation. It was crazy. But at the same time, like, you can understand some of his quarrels with Coach Tomlin and the organization as well, though. So I definitely see both sides of it. But when I'm looking at this situation in terms of him saying that statement about the envelope, if he really wanted to continue down that path, he could make it a lot messier, more so for the Steelers and as an organization as a whole, than it would be on him necessarily. Because it's not like he can get fined now. It's not like he can get suspended now. But the team, they can get fined. The team, they can definitely have, ramifications for these actions.
This is not good for us right now. In terms
which is why I thought it was funny that you saw how quick Mr. Rooney came out and said something, and even his agent said something. I was like, man, traditionally, stuff comes out. These guys aren't jumping down there to make a statement, but just because of the seriousness of this, and like I said, the parallels to the whole Bounty Gate situation, that's why I think that is getting talked about the way it's getting talked about now.
Okay, so what I will say then too, with Harrison receiving this letter, is that it seemed like
he said letter.
Envelope, whatever. Envelope. letter, whatever. You know, they kind of go hand in hand usually.
Unless it's like a letter saying that, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount of money.
I owe you.
Sheesh.
It seems he mentions it was the Gius thing that's happened.
Yeah.
It seems like he was surprised, and him mentioning it like this is the Gius thing. It doesn't sound like
the context when he's talking about it's the most Gius thing. It's like the most gangster thing, like almost like mafioso style, like bro.
That's what I mean. It seems like it's more of a surprise to him, as opposed to maybe a continual thing, or this was just how it was.
If this was the initial thing, though, that's the thing, because he never really elaborated more so on it.
No.
So if this is the initial thing, that's totally different. But even if it's a one-off, it's still wrong.
As a looking back, though, as a one-off,
it's no way around it. If it happened, it's wrong. If it happened, you're in trouble.
By the letter of the law, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think as like a player, though, or just even a person, you're just like, all right, I mean, my coach, the guy that's ahead of me is looking out for me. It's kind of, you're right. It's not necessarily correct or right, but I think it's something that's appreciated at least, no?
No. It's different between a player appreciation and why the rules are the rules. The reason why it's set up that way is because if you know as a player, my coach is going to take care of my fine, or a different player is going to take care of my fine,
you'll be reckless.
Exactly. And then when you look at the way the hits were happening after that, and the things that he was saying to Goodell after the fact, it makes you wonder. Well, maybe he did know he had this ace in the hole, essentially, something back in him.
Man.
And that's, you took us down that road. I didn't want to go that road. You said that. I don't
want to believe it.
You said it. You said, man, hey man, that'd be kind of cool, man. Makes you feel good as a player, right? Yeah.
I think you would. I mean, we did mention that, but I mean,
you don't think the Saints players felt good when they came in there the next day after making a big hit, knocking somebody out, and hey man, there you go, player.
I'm not saying that I don't understand why it's the rule. I mean, it should be the case. I mean, you don't want this type of stuff in your league where, people are getting paid to hurt other people or just making it seem like it's cool, hard and bad hits, illegal hits. But it's just one of those things you wish weren't said. I'll put it that way. Like, this is bad, right? Like, it's just not a good look right now. Hopefully it is kind of swept on the rug for our sake. Because we are the Steelers. If it was any other team, I would just be like, Because in a vacuum, it is kind of an interesting, cool story. But for right now, it's
or
this could be problematic.
Or imagine if it was us on the receiving end of that. Say that was Juju getting knocked out.
Everyone would be furious.
Absolutely. Or say Ben was one of the quarterbacks that got blasted like that.
If it was like a Bengals coach.
Yeah, you would not feel that way right now. Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too thrilled.
Yeah. Just keep the same energy, that's all.
I'm being straight up, though. It's the Steelers, and I'm biased, so that's all I'm saying. But yeah, right now, it's going to be interesting how it plays out. It's going to really rely on Harrison then, if anything goes further, right? Because right now, nothing can be proved.
Right, nothing can be proved, but if Goodell and the NFL say, hey, we want to investigate this now, I mean, you go directly to the source. You go to James, then you're going to go to anybody that was potentially in the locker room area, like his locker's next to him. But at the same time, if you're James, you control the power.
I was going to say, what incentive do you have if you're James to be talking to Goodell like that?
Well, for James, first off, I don't think because you didn't see firsthand
because it feels like a bad look just for the James and Steeler Nation relationship. Then, but if he goes down that path, at this point, he hasn't.
The thing though, if you could have saw 2017, I mean, you've heard the reports of how he was. You even heard him in this interview in terms of talking about how he would go in there every day asking to be released in that 2017 season. Every day. Yo, can you release me? Yo, release me. You lied to me. Release me. Some of the things that he was doing, in terms, he talked about faking a back injury. Seen it firsthand. I can't practice it. My back hurt. Going there and lift 600-700 pounds. You're like, God, dog, this is crazy. Like, we know what's up. You know what I mean? But you could just, you know what I mean? Like, it was going down a very, very dark path. That's all I'm saying. So for James, if this is his chance to say, you know what? Y'all want to stick it to me my last season, right? Here's my chance to get back to you.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And then take it a step further, right? take it a step further, because let's be real, not all the Steelers Nation loves James right now. Some of them are like, oh, he went to the Patriots a traitor. I've seen guys even going as far as saying, man, he owes the team more than the team owes him. Like his accomplishments in terms of that Super Bowl play, the depot, that ain't nothing compared to, Mr. Rooney still took him after the incident with him and the mother of his child. Like he should be begging us. He was cut multiple times, undrafted. We took a chance on him. So depending on the route he want to go,
how he views that.
Yeah, he could take it a totally different way. Because you speak from a positive standpoint of Steelers Nation. Mm-hmm. Obviously, me and his relationship is we have a personal relationship, so it's a lot different than your perspective and Steelers Nation's perspective in terms of what we allow, what I wouldn't allow, don't allow, cool with, not cool with. It's totally different. But when you factor in all those things, James could look at it and say, you know what? I got something for all of y'all. Because he has that power.
He
does.
Like you said, the ball is in his court right now.
And if it came down to, well, who's the witnesses? It could be simply do you think that Coach Tomlin would give me an envelope in the locker room in front of everybody? No, he's going to wait till we were in private to give me an envelope. And of course, an envelope it had money. Oh, you want to see the deposit? Well, obviously you look at the deposit I was making during that year, or it was cash. See the road we can go down there? And now it's going to be his word versus Coach T's word. And then once the media gets a hold of it, we already know once the media gets a hold of it, you're not even innocent until proven guilty. If you're the Steelers, you become guilty until you can prove otherwise. And then from there, media still gets a hold of it. We've seen guys get suspended, get in trouble when they weren't even in it, when they weren't even bad all the way. But because the media had went so crazy around it.
Yeah, that's what I don't want right now.
And in terms of timing, if Debo was strategic with this thing and did it the way, because we're not saying that he did this intentionally.
It didn't seem like he was just talking in passing.
But if he were to have done it intentionally, this would be the perfect time, because off season, if you want to get somebody really talked about, you do it in the off season because it's nothing else. In the regular season, it's a game happening next week. You're not thinking about it. Mm. You know what I mean? Oh man, it's a big game Sunday night. Man, if I drop this info on Wednesday, it's gone by Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Right now, what are we looking forward to?
Dude, why do we gotta be in the news cycle like this? I don't want this. This was redemption tour for Ben. Mm-hmm. This was supposed to be an epic. I don't want any of this stuff.
Hey man. and I guess for me, I'm always torn, because initially I was like, bro, come on, man. This can't be real. But then I said, man, I've known Debo for what? Let's see, played together 4 years, been retired for what, a year now. So going on 6 years essentially. And I can't remember him ever lying.
No, I was thinking that myself.
He does not lie.
I was thinking that myself.
To a fault, it's bad. Like sometimes you're like, Debo, just lie. Like, stop. And he's like, nah. Like that's the one. And he's always big on like his father, rest his soul. But he's always like, yo, my dad taught me this. My dad would say this. My dad said you can't do that. And to a fault, he's gonna ride with it, bro.
And that's why you got to have in the back pocket that, it could be a letter. It could be a party invitation or something like that. It can't be proven it was cash.
Unless he says it was.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So nothing is out yet.
Because you would hate to go down the path of the organization tries to come out and say, oh, no, it was a party invitation letter.
No, I'm not part of the organization.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying it.
And then it's like, I'm not questioning Coach
as a joke.
Either.
As
we're
a
not,
joke,
we're not going to question
right.
Coach Tomlin's integrity, because I have a great relationship with him as well, and that organization as well. But if I had to make a list of coaches that I think would go the G route, right, the gangster approach route, Coach Tomlin does fall under that list. If I had to make a list of who I think would compensate a player, it would be him. It would.
We don't know though. We don't.
But I'm just saying, if I had to think of one, he's on that list. I think he'd be on that list. Belichick would definitely be on that list.
Belichick, how would he do it though? I don't think he does it in person. I think he sends like an assistant. Why would he have to do it
in person? Now everybody's more than one. I mean, it's like the mob. Okay, he didn't have to shoot him directly, but he told that guy to shoot him. I mean, either way, the job's getting done. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That's all I'm saying, babe.
Right. I don't think the player in Belichick's situation actually knows it's coming from Belichick. It would be more of a 5 to 10 year thing down the line where they're looking back and like, man, does this add up?
But you think about the mob.
Belichick wouldn't even give a wink or anything.
It's more than one way to do it. Either way, though, the job gets done, right?
You're right.
And at the end of the day, when you trace it all back, it comes right back to the same person, right? The mastermind of it all, right?
Yeah. Is there anyone else? Reckless speculation?
Man, jeez. Who would be on the list of doing G-like actions?
Peterson, maybe?
Oh. I think I could see Andy Reid, too.
No way.
I think I could. Bro.
Really?
Andy's a player's coach. Guys love to play for Andy. Think about that. Andy let him go to bat for you.
Okay.
Because essentially that's what it is. It's not as if they're saying like F you Goodell. They're saying like, hey,
no, and that's what
I got your back.
And that's what I was saying earlier. It is a cool story from that standpoint, and the players I'm sure would appreciate it. Any employee would appreciate that if their employer or manager would do something like that for them to stick their back out. Yeah. But yeah, this could be a tough stretch here.
Right. And the reason the sole purpose of why it's an issue is just because you incentivize the behavior.
Right. It's making it okay.
Because I guess it's different. Like if say you're working a regular 9 to 5 and the tax bill comes up unexpectedly for you, you know, man, I really can't afford this right now. But your boss says, hey, look, I got you. I'm going to take care of that. That's not as bad as, hey, Deke, you can't hit these guys like that. You're getting fined because you almost killed
I don't know
them,
what would be a scenario similar to this. I don't even know,
because this is totally different in this regard, in this vein. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, because it is. There's 32 teams. Mm-hmm. There's comparisons going back and forth, like, oh, you treated this team or these players one way.
Right.
I mean, what other organization has all this kind of different stuff at play where one ruling made however many years ago, you're looking back on that as a basis and you're kind of judging it. All right, what's going to happen now? Is he going to treat these people or this organization the same way? I don't know. Yeah, what? Man. There's because you have the organization itself, the team, how everything operates under that, but then you have the NFL and the commissioner works for the owners and
it's a weird dynamic,
I don't know,
man.
dude.
It's a lot of moving parts, buddy. A lot of moving parts, man.
What other scenarios? Like, obviously, other pro sports teams are like that, but outside of sports, I don't know. So I get what you're saying. Like, what act in a normal? I don't know, dude.
Yeah. So I guess the real question is, do you believe it?
Do I believe it? Do I believe James Harrison?
Yeah, because or do you believe Mr. Rooney? And I want to know
Rooney or agent.
Which one are you more loyal to? Because I see how loyal you are to Ben, right?
Yeah.
But we know that Debo is directly a part of one of those Super Bowls that holds you so near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
And I know how biased you feel about these guys, right?
Right.
And your love for them. You would never think that Ben could lie. You would never think that Debo could lie. You would never think that anybody on the Steelers could lie. So now we have this situation here.
Well, we had even conflicts of interest with AB. You're not thinking AB's lying either. So what's going on here?
Hey, man. So you tell me, man. Do you believe James received something?
Yeah, I mean, I told you. I mean, there's no reason to believe that James is lying. There's no reason to believe that.
Oh man, Debo. Why would you come on, Debo? That's my guy. I love it. Love it.
There's no reason to believe.
This is such a Debo-like thing, bro.
There's no reason to believe he's lying. So, yeah, it's as simple as that, really.
Okay.
And going back to what you were saying about loyalty to players and this and that. I mean, you would be surprised. I mean, you probably think I'm way more loyal to like the Steelers and the brand and that.
No, you're loyal to Ben.
Which I am. Nah, I'm loyal to the brand.
Stop it. Ben over brand.
Nah,
yes, but we've already proven this.
Dude, I'm a players guy too. I didn't think much of James when he left. I didn't think much of AB when he obviously it wasn't in the most or the best way.
Right.
But everyone's their own individual. I don't know as a fan sitting back what side of the story is happening and what's really going on behind the scenes. So I'm just not much of a judging person just from that standpoint. So I like we were saying at the beginning, I still like Harrison a lot. I still like AB a lot.
I ain't got no issues with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just didn't know if you thought that would be a surprising thing or not, because there's a bunch of Steeler fans that you said earlier that feel burned by Harrison and burned by AB.
In 2017, when everything went down and he finally got his release to sign with the Patriots, you realize I had lockers where 2 lockers down, guys are bashing Debo.
Oh, so that was even going on.
Yes. You remember when Bud made his statement, Pouncey made his statement? Absolutely. It was going crazy. I'm like, they're talking crazy about him, but yet it's times where me and him are still having conversations. Like, it was the awkward moment of, dude, I've been hanging around this dude pretty much every day for 4 years. Obviously being in the same position group with him, teammates, like, you get close. I'm like, man, this is nuts. Y'all going crazy like this. I don't feel that way. I look at it like it's business. But at the same time, me and him both were in similar situations in 17 as well, going into that season. And the mindset from, pre-season starting to once it happened was night and day in terms of what was communicated. And that was ultimately the reason why everything played out the way it did. Now, granted, I always say this, we could have handled it two separate ways. I handled it one way, he handled it another way. And, but that was more his approach, and I took my approach.
He almost got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I said for him, honestly, I thought it was a win for both parties. I said for the Steelers, they were big on not releasing him because they said, obviously, you need somebody behind TJ if TJ were to go down. You got to make sure you got this guy ready to go, and he was ready to go, but TJ never went down. So that was a win for the Steelers. Obviously, TJ has went on to have a very successful career, even though it's only been short right now. It's been very successful. But if you're James, he wanted to compete for a Super Bowl. He wanted to get playing time. He wanted to be back out there. He got to do that right off the bat in New England. So for him, he won. So I look at it like everybody was good. And for me, I won because I got my money. So I won't try.
Yeah, sometimes that type of stuff happens. How it happens isn't necessarily the best way, but finally getting to that point where both sides win. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess that's what matters. But now we're in this situation. Yeah. So what? I
guess my only thing that I don't like about this situation right now is this incident that is being communicated. And like you said, I don't think that Debo has any reason to lie. I'll just leave it as it could have been a miscommunication in terms of, hey, I'm giving you an envelope for something totally different. But the miscommunication could be that he interpreted it as this is for these benefits.
I like that. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that better.
So that way everybody's telling the truth, but it could just been a miscommunication.
That's actually way better than saying the letter or the...
Yeah, because what you were going to, I'm like, bro, you tripping. That would get you knocked.
But it can't be proven.
It can be proven. You have a person willing to testify. It can be proven.
No, if he does. So I'm saying that. I'm not the Steelers organization.
Nah, I don't even want to put it in a position where, that happened like that. No, I'd rather it's, oh man, coach just randomly was giving him something that was for 2 weeks away from time, but it didn't even deal with that, and it was just miscommunicated because the timing of everything. That's the approach I'm going with it because I'm biased to both guys.
I like that better.
You know what I mean? I'm biased organization and to Debo. I'm sorry, but even more so, the thing that has been rubbed me a little bit, in these situations, very much reminded me of with AB as well. Anytime something like this comes out, right, where it's painting the organization in a unflattering sense, you get half the people that arrive with the players, but then the other half use this as a chance to assassinate the character of that player. And that's the thing that I always dislike in terms of now they're going on the list of, well, he wasn't a good teammate. No way. And he wasn't this anyways. And, look at what he did off the field. And this, I'm like,
that doesn't have anything to do with him just telling the truth.
And I'm like, so because he said this and you don't want to believe it, now we're going, he's this, like that absurd. Rubs me the wrong way. But it won't necessarily be just some, Joe Blow. It's like, in terms of media members, top-notch media people saying it.
People are saying this.
Absolutely. You got to get out more, bro.
Dude, yeah, I got my space, and I'm just trying to, stay positive and not near this stuff.
I got to have all the factors so that way I know what's really going on. It's a real representation of what Steeler Nation is saying, what the media is saying locally and nationally.
Yeah, maybe I do need to get more plugged in with that type of stuff.
Yeah, so, man, just seeing that, I'm just like, dude, this is crazy. But they really feel that way in just hearing some of the things that they said, some of the incident. You said what?
Or are they just saying it? I don't know.
Say it again now?
You think they really feel that way, or are they just saying it?
Well, you tell me.
Maybe both.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a combo, but maybe some people actually do feel it. But others might just be saying it to get a rise out of people, and you know what I mean? Man.
You tell me.
Or make themselves look good.
You tell me.
I don't know. It could be. You know how it is.
Exactly. So
either way, it's not good.
Exactly.
I definitely don't appreciate it.
Right. Either way, it's out there.
Definitely. No, definitely either way.
So for me, man, I never was a fan of that type of stuff, man.
I'm not either, for sure.
And regardless of if it was true or not, need to try to bring up, oh, well, this situation happened. This situation happened. Like, you weren't saying that in 2016 when he was balling out, were you? No. But now all of a sudden, there's such a moral this and that, and he's such a bad this and that, and look at what he did. Like, what? Or even with AB, right? 2016 AB. Oh man, even 2017 before the Bengals game, it was all love, positive what they were saying about him. Everything transpires where it does that offseason. Then, oh man, this and this, that and that. And it's like, dude, like, where was all this beforehand?
Right.
Like, this is crazy. And that's my biggest issue, man.
Understood. Yeah, it's not, I don't appreciate it either. No. So that's what you're going with then?
Yeah, bro. Miscommunication.
Yeah,
it happens. It's kind of like, man, you send a text. Text said one thing. I took it one way. You meant it a totally different way. But it's like, yo, until we had a chance to really sit down and talk about it. And if we never talked about it, I just took it as this way. You just took it as that way. And we've never talking about this text until now. You see what I mean? So I look at it like
it was never talked about until now.
Man. You hit her with the, hey, what's up? And she took it like you were trying to holler at her. You were just really like, yo, I'm just saying, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, it's miscommunication. But y'all never talked about it. So she never stopped. She stopped talking with you. You stopped talking to her. And you was kind of like, yo. I'm just saying, what's up? It ain't that deep. You know what I mean? And she over here like, yo, you were really trying to holler at me. That's crazy.
So we could say birthday gift, maybe. Something like that.
It was birthdays in I think, May.
Late birthday gift.
Birthdays in May, bro. May 4th, I want to say. Yeah, May 4th be with you. Yeah.
Halfway birthday gift, maybe.
I'm not going.
Well, that could be part of the miscommunication. It could have been a gift.
Miscommunication.
You're not even you don't even
not even
just as simple. Less is more.
Not even going there, bro. Because they gonna hit you with the, has he ever given you a birthday gift? And now he waits 6 months to get you a gift.
So you're way more versed in law and this type of stuff. Then.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to get knocked or have anybody I know go down that path, man. Yeah, we never doing a crime together. I'm just throwing it out there now, Deke. We're not doing a crime together because you throw out too much. Hey man, it could have been this. No, Deke.
No, I don't think I would do that in this scenario. I don't think I'm just trying to look out for my Steelers right now. That's what I'm trying to do.
But by you trying to look out for, and that's the thing. That's why I said I win it, because I would think you'd be trying to look out for both of us. But the things that you might say and throw out during that time, it's gonna set us up, because you trying to look out for the Steelers with some of the things you throwing out there.
I think it's that, and I'm trying to be borderline funny too.
I like the fun. Let's go funny. I like that, because I'm like, woo, boy, you about to get us knocked? Oh,
it still would get us knocked though.
It definitely would.
So either way, I'm not the best partner in crime. Yeah. We'll put it that way.
But it's good because I snitch too. So yeah, and I ain't trouble.
You would?
Nah, not really. But yeah, man. That whole situation is crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see just how it pans out though going forward, because me knowing Goodell ain't gonna let that ride.
You think?
The reason why I say he won is this: we already seen the traction that it's received, right?
Sean Payton thinks he will. He's gonna just sweep it under the rug.
So you really think that's Sean Payton's move, or do you think Sean Payton is using the media to indirectly put the pressure on Goodell?
There's all these games here.
Think about it. I mean, but that's just how it is in life. I mean, if you really want something, I
like it. I like you bringing it up at least.
Right. If you wanted some shoes, you can't come here and say, I want that pair of shoes. No. You got to go to something totally different, and we're going to work 2-3 steps to get back to the shoes that I really wanted the whole time for the price that I wanted. So if you're Sean Payton, if he came out and says, Goodell has to do this, man, he has to say this, what are we going to say about Sean Payton? Oh, he's bitter. He's always in the off season trying to make something up about him. It's always about him. So where does he go? He says, oh, no. He ain't gonna say nothing about them boys doing that. No way. We had Bounty Gate. You saw how they treated us, but they ain't gonna say about the Steelers, because it's the Steelers. It's gonna sweep it under the rug. Now, what does that make the NFL have to do? They got to say something. They got to act now, because it's like, oh, if they don't do anything, then you truly swept it under the rug. But now if you look into it, now Sean Payton got what he wanted. That's how it works in life. You know that. Come on, baby.
I thought this was going to go under the rug until I came in here and started talking to you. And now it seems like this is going to be a 2-month long thing, potentially a year thing.
I think they will look into it, man, because the media is not going to let it slide, because there's nothing else to talk about. Media loves witch hunts. We know that. So expect them to look into that. And the fact that Mr. Rooney had to put out a statement about it, it just lets you know the level of seriousness associated with it. I think like it would be different but he had to say something. If Mr. Rooney didn't say something, then you're just like, well, he didn't say anything. This makes him look even more guilty. But because he did say something so quick, it's like, well, damn, why are you speaking so fast? It's catch-22. You're stuck either way.
It's a bad scenario. Yeah. It's a tough scenario to be in right now. Man.
It's a unique situation, man. I will say this, though. I still think down the line, nothing could potentially come from it. Like, they could look into it, talk about it, and things like that. But I still think without James,
that's saying, like we said, hey, that's the X factor.
And do this, right? And ultimately, you never know how James is feeling. Honestly, I mean, hey, James is a very complex individual when it comes to those type of things, man. Sometimes he holds a grudge, sometimes he doesn't. And
in this case, it doesn't seem like he's holding a grudge, though. This was said in passing and looking at things in a positive way, is what it seemed like.
I mean, people have been bashing him for what, a couple years now, ever since 2017, man. Anytime he says anything about the Steelers, you remember when he went on Fox, was it Fox Sports? And he said, I forgot, who was he talking about? Oh man, was it Coach?
Was it Brady and Ben?
Yeah,
I think he
said the thing about Brady and Ben. People got on about that. When he did the little video with AB, people got on about that.
What did he do with AB?
When he was like, oh, I got the interview, I got the story. I'm gonna tell everybody, like, he gonna do an interview with me. You're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk about what's really going on with the Steelers.
That didn't happen, did it?
It didn't. But when they put the video out there about like teasing it, people went crazy.
The ESPN guy got it. Darlington. Is that what we're talking about? Just last year?
No. This would have been like 2017, like off season when it legit was happening.
The Facebook Live thing?
No,
I'm so lost.
So you remember when AB had went and he started talking about Ben, started talking about Mr. Rooney. I'd never been to Ben's house. Mr. Rooney doesn't know my kids' names.
He still played one more season with the Steelers.
No. This is the season 17 had already ended. That season already ended. So it would have been that same Super Bowl year though. Remember, this is when AB first came out, started making all the reports during the playoffs and stuff, right? He's doing all the reports. Man, Ben and never invite me to his house. Then he shows up at the Super Bowl with the crazy hair and stuff.
Oh, this is 18 then.
It would have been. Yes, I'm tripping. It's 18. Yeah. It's 18.
This is last year. Yeah,
so it was 18. Yeah, because 17 was me and Debo's last year.
Okay.
This is 18.
So this was the end of AB's last year. Right. Yes.
Remember, that's when James and AB, before any other interviews came out, when AB just kept saying, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell, man, this never happened. That happened. Him and Debo went on Facebook. It was on Instagram, actually. And he's like, yo, we're about to do an interview. We're going to tell it all, man. And people went crazy about that, getting on Debo for that.
Really?
Saying, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just
You just never know how he feels, man. That's all I'm saying, bro. He's been receiving a lot of negativity from Steelers Nation for a while.
You know, I'm just a live and let live guy, man. Yeah, that stuff happened, whatever. But that does happen where people are commenting and furious about it. I'm sure that I wasn't involved or I guess made aware of that type of stuff at the time. But jeez, man. Dude. Yeah. Well, I'm getting there. Bro. I'm like an old fogey.
You are, bro. You are. But it's all good though, man. It's what makes you, bro.
I guess the dynamic of Deke.
Yeah. So that's a crazy situation, man. But we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting to follow, bro.
I hope nothing comes of it, man. I like Tomlin. I like Harrison. I like the Steelers organization. I just hope it's a cool story, and that's it. Funny.
Watch when we drop this video. Just look at the comments. It'll tell you everything you need to know right there, bro. You're gonna have some people riding with Tomlin, some people riding with Debo, some people bashing Tomlin, some people bashing Debo.
Why does it have to be either or?
Because that's what people are. You know that. We talk about it all the time. That people don't like it could be, just inclusive. No. It has to be you're either this or that. That's how they like it.
I am disappointed that this is happening right now, but how he said it was just like in passing a story. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not holding that against him at all.
I'm not holding it against him either, but I will say this. Us as players, we know the things that may or may not have transpired during our career that may or may not have been against the rules in terms of compensation from coaches and players for certain actions. But the one thing we all know is, in passing or not, you don't get on that mic and say that.
Right.
We all know that. So regardless of in passing or not, you know who exactly. Yeah, it's like, hey, Deke, you remember that robbery committed 10 years ago where I shot that guy? You robbed it. I just said it in passing. I wasn't trying to get you indicted. Like what? Like You knew when you said it, bro. Like, joking or not, you know as soon as you throw that out there what the ramifications are. You know that. The same concept. Exact same concept.
Man.
So we can get up here and give him the benefit of the doubt. He was just saying it in passing. You notice the story has never came out in passing since then, and that happened in 2010. So you mean to tell me in 2011 that story never came out? 2012 it never came out? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 it never came out? Now all of a sudden it just, in passing. Oh man, they gave me that envelope. It was dope. It was the G's thing I've ever seen. Like, what? No.
I'm so conflicted.
He's been doing TV. He was retired last year doing TV.
I'm so conflicted right now, man. He bring up all these good points and stuff. I'm not mad at him. I mean, whatever. Like I said, it's his life. He's got to do what he's got to do. Now it's just a tough situation for us as Steeler Nation right now. We gotta figure it out. We gotta back Tomlin. We gotta back the organization.
But not everybody's a Tomlin guy. You know that.
Oh man,
we saw that firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what do those people do that aren't a fan of either of them.
Man.
I have no clue.
Right, man. Depends how you look at it, bro.
I mean, that's up to them.
Yeah.
I know where I'm at with it, at least.
For me, man, I think this is, I guess, the last thing we'll really hit on with this.
Because we probably don't even have time to get into what we were going to get into, right?
What time is it?
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's only 10:30.
Are we good?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good, bro.
All right.
Easy, big fella.
You promise? Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
But when I look at the whole situation with Debo and this thing, if he does have to proceed, which enemy do you work with?
Right.
Because you know how you feel about Goodell. Is he willing to work with Goodell to burn the organization? Or does he say, I'm going to ride with the organization because I don't like Goodell? It's a very unique situation, bro.
If it was the latter of what you said, it seems like you wouldn't have said anything in the first place, though, right?
Or he could when I had a heat on him a little bit. Just make him sweat a little bit, you know? Right.
Okay. Just make things interesting.
Yeah, just a little bit, man.
It's the coronavirus. Not much is going on. Just
absolutely, man.
Shaking up the pot a little bit.
So you never know. You never know. So yeah, man.
That was fun to talk about, though.
Man.
That was fun to talk about.
That was. So now, the next thing we're going to talk about, man, we're going to see.
I jumped the gun.
Yeah, you did. It's cool, man.
I thought it was going to be another podcast, but I'm ready. I'm ready for now, dude.
Yeah, bro. So we want to talk about the Steelers' first round picks of this decade and just kind of rank them because, I mean, obviously that's what everybody's doing right now, right? Ranking decade teams, this team, that group, this group. So we said, you know what, let's make this Steeler thing. So when we look at the Steelers' first round picks throughout this decade, you got Marquise Pouncey as part of 2010. You got Cam Hayward in 11. DeCastro was in 2012. Then you got Jarvis Jones in 2013. Then in 2014, you got Ryan Shazier. 15 was Bud Dupree. 16, Artie Burns. 17 was TJ Watt. 18, you had Terrell Edmonds. And then in 19 was Devin Bush. And obviously, we didn't have a first round pick this season.
Right.
So I guess we just drop our list, man. And then
1 through 10?
Yeah,
10 to 1?
And contrast.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Go ahead, go first. I know you're going to say some outlandish stuff. I can already feel it. I know how you do, bro. I already know how you do. So for me, man, the way I have it ranked, I have number 1, Marquise Pouncey.
Okay.
Number 2, I have Cam Hayward.
Okay.
3, I go David DeCastro. 4 is where I have TJ Watt. 5, I have Ryan Shazier. 6, I go Bud Dupree. 7 is Devin Bush. 8, Terrell Edmonds. 9, Jarvis Jones. And then at 10, I have my dog, Artie Burns.
Man, okay. Yes, definitely different list.
I already know. All right, because I already know how you about to say this. So go ahead, drop it down.
You know what my number
I already know.
What's my number 2?
Go ahead, man.
Wait, take a guess. What's my number 2?
Go ahead.
Pouncey's 1. Who's my number 2?
TJ. Because you would rather go a short term 3 years over guys who've been doing it at a crazy high level for 9-10 years. I already know how you think.
Can you name my list? Do you think you can name my list?
I'm probably sure you're
right on
going
to
with Pouncey, TJ. I don't know how you feel about Devin over Ryan, But I think those are in that mix. Then from there, you're probably going to go Cam Hayward because you know defense.
Man, yeah, you got me wrong here. You got me wrong. You got me messed up here. So it's Pouncey, TJ. See, this one was a toss up. I really couldn't decide on this, but I'm going to Castro then Hayward.
Okay, I could dig that.
This one was a toss up too. This one was hard. Bud versus Shazier. And I'm actually really going against myself here. Yeah. And I'm saying Bud over Shazier. I'm really going against myself.
Okay.
But if you really think about it, maybe there is a little bit of Deke to that pick, which I'll explain.
And both of them are brothers, man. So this is a unique situation for me.
And then no, actually, I didn't finish out the same way as you. I got Bush, Edmonds, and then I went Burns, Jarvis.
Okay. So first off, talk about why you have TJ over DeCastro then.
Okay. If I'm making a pick right now,
that'd be like saying, "Oh, well, which team are you making the pick for?"
The Steelers. I need TJ. I'm taking TJ. I think if you go position wise too, I think most can agree that the outside linebacker / the pass rusher D end is. I mean, what are we gonna say? Top 3 positions for an NFL team.
My thing is, if you're going that route, why would you have Pouncey at number 1? You see the contradiction there?
No.
Like what?
There's layers to it because Pouncey is an 8-time Pro Bowl or 2-time All-Pro.
It was the Castro.
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
What's the Castro?
I don't know if the Castro's Hall of Famer yet.
Okay, we don't know if TJ Watt's Hall of Famer yet either.
Yeah, but these 3 years have been crazy. So
but you look at DeCastro's 5 years were crazy.
I'm not even projecting with TJ either. What he has done it's been a historic 3 years for him.
And what has DeCastro's been?
It's been great. It's been awesome. I mean, he's probably been top 1, 2, or 3 guard in the league.
How many years has TJ been top 2 or top 3 at his position? This year? Debatable last year? Yes. And not his first year.
Okay.
Just think about what you just said there.
Yeah, but I mean, his peak and that position, like I said, the outside linebacker or the DN. That's why I think that pick was so important.
Okay.
As like if you're picking in the top 5 right now, are you considering DeCastro or are you taking TJ? You're taking TJ in the top 5.
This is my thing. With that argument, why aren't you taking TJ over Pouncey then? Because you would take an outside linebacker peak position. If I'm drafting starting a team, you would take outside linebacker over a center, would you not?
But
so how you make that argument like that?
Pouncey's just better than DeCastro, though. If we're weighing it like that.
But how do you figure that when you look at what DeCastro's been able to accomplish as well? He's up there in the same conversation. I think is a notch down from Pouncey, but he's up in that same conversation.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. What I'm saying is I'm taking Pouncey over TJ because of the longevity, the 8-time Pro Bowlers, 2-time All-Pro. He's been pretty much the best at his position through this whole time. Gonna be a Hall of Famer. Insane locker room guy too, leader. So that's why he's number 1. Okay. So then I go to the next thing, and I'm weighing these options. All right, you do have DeCastro. He has
the one crazy year that TJ has had is
borderline defensive player of the year. Like people were considering
borderline defensive player of the year.
Right.
Okay, but borderline not winning it is more than what DeCastro's accomplished throughout his career.
Nah, well he's done it for the year prior as well though. Double digit sacks. TJ like his. These first 3 years have been insane.
They've been don't do that.
They have been. They've been a historic first 3 years.
TJ rookie year is the same level of TJ this past season.
Well, DeCastro's rookie year, he was hurt. So
okay, but
they only have 3 seasons.
But
TJ only has 3 seasons.
But what I'm saying is this: you've seen DeCastro's longevity, correct?
Right.
You've seen the All Pros, correct?
This is simply what we're arguing: is longevity.
So you would rather take 1-time All Pro over a 5-time All Pro? How many All Pros does DeCastro have?
No. All Pros, he has 2 or 3. I think he has 5 or 6 Pro Bowls. I think 5 Pro Bowls. So my point is that pick is key. That is a key.
But what I'm saying is you keep flip-flopping what you are arguing. Like you're trying to say like the reason why you're taking him is because if I was drafting
Pouncey's a level up than DeCastro though. That's what I mean. That's why I am flipping in this instance and saying that
5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I am flipping in this instance because I think TJ's wow factor, what the position is even,
So because it's more of a
outweighs
glamorous position,
just
it
outweighs
the Castro being a top 3 guard in the league for what? Pretty much all but 1 or 2 years in his career.
the position of guard versus outside linebacker. That's
what
kind of the
like
thing.
it's kind of like what do you glamorize more, right? In terms
8-time Pro Bowls, 2-time All Pros though with Pouncey. Like that's just another level past the Castro. The Castro could get there in the next however many years.
So you said Pouncey has how many All Pros?
2.
And how many did Castro have? 2.
Yeah. 8-time Pro Bowler though.
He's 5-time Pro Bowler.
Team leader, locker room guy.
DeCastro is as well. I've been in the locker room with both of these guys. What?
Right.
What?
Pouncey's a Hall of Famer though right now.
Correct.
DeCastro's borderline.
Fair enough.
We don't know yet. So
okay, but TJ Watt today isn't a Hall of Famer.
No, but we only can go off those 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's say Devin Bush last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that he had a Pro Bowl type season. Any rookie, it could be any rookie, but we're using Bush as an example. He had an All Pro rookie season. Yeah. I mean, I would put him above Shazier and Bud maybe.
Okay.
If
he
had
said how we differ, bro. Yeah.
But I mean, we have Bush for that 1 year, and we still have him for however many years. There's different little pieces for each of these players, because it's hard when you have someone that's drafted in 2010 versus someone that's drafted in the past 2 or 3 years. Okay. You look at the pick, the need, the importance of the position, all these different factors.
Yeah.
What? That's what I'm going off of, man. Okay. I think if you're picking a team right now, if you have the number 1 pick,
it's hard to keep saying if I'm picking a team and then you put Pouncey above TJ. Because if I'm picking a team in any year, I'm taking a pass rusher over a center. So how are you making that debate? That's what I'm saying. You keep saying...
Are you taking Pouncey's, I don't know, a top 5 and you're guaranteed Pouncey's career, though?
So this is my thing. If TJ Watt, if I could take TJ Watt right now as a pass rusher to build my team, you're not going to take TJ Watt today over Pouncey?
I think that's a debate. You already know a lot more about Pouncey.
No. You know a lot more about DeCastro than you do TJ as well.
And it's not as elite as Pouncey. How do you
figure?
It's not as elite as Pouncey.
How do you figure DeCastro isn't elite?
As Pouncey.
I think, man.
I'm not saying he's not elite. TJ's elite, though, too.
TJ plays pass rush. He's a pass rusher. If DeCastro was a quote-unquote pass rush with the same accolades, it wouldn't even be in the same conversation.
No, that's what I mean. It's just different.
Fair enough. Whatever you say, bro.
It's different. Like, dude, that pick, that pick.
This is my biggest thing, bro. When you say if I'm drafting and starting a team right now, you're not taking a center. You're not taking Pouncey over TJ Watt. If I'm picking a team today, I'm taking the pass rush over the center. Regardless of what Pouncey has done, I'm taking TJ Watt because of the pass rush, going by your logic. That's all I'm saying.
But it's not simply that.
That's what you keep saying it is, though.
But no, I'm not talking about Watt versus Pouncey.
You're saying Watt versus DeCastro, though.
But if I'm doing Watt versus Pouncey, in my opinion, that's a closer debate. But then you factor in the other stuff.
What other stuff?
Of Pouncey, 8-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro, Hall of Famer.
But then you go to the longevity to back Pouncey. When you're going Pouncey versus TJ, you'll go to Pouncey's longevity.
Yeah,
but then when it's TJ versus DeCastro, you don't go to the longevity. Are you seeing the difference right there?
Just because it's not as good as Pouncey's, that's why.
It's only 3 Pro Bowls less.
That's 3 Pro Bowls.
It's 3 Pro Bowls less. That's it. That's not that big of a difference.
I mean, that's 3 Pro Bowls.
And
if we're saying Hall of Fame,
Pouncey came in 10, DeCastro came in 12. That's a 2-year difference as well.
Okay.
It's a lot of factors that go into that, man.
I understand, but we know Pouncey's a Hall of Famer right now. We don't know that with DeCastro.
We already said DeCastro's borderline right now.
Borderline, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we know about TJ? Is TJ a Hall of Famer today? Is TJ borderline today?
He had an historic first 3 seasons. That's what I know.
More so this past season was historic.
I know.
The second year was building up into it. If you want to go accumulation, sure, you can go accumulation. But when you said that, when you make it, you imply that his first year was the same level of this past year where he was getting votes for Defense Player of the Year. He was not getting votes for Defense Player of the Year his first year. I seriously doubt he was getting votes for Defense Player of the Year his second year in the league. He wasn't. But this year, yes, he was. He earned that. This year, he proved that, hey, man, I'm a top 2, top 3, depending on how y'all want to debate it, edge rusher in the NFL. That's all I'm saying, man. Where's DeCastro?
Which is why I got TJ
year in
there.
and year out. With DeCastro, you've seen year in and year out.
That's why I got TJ there.
Hey, well, it's your list. It's good.
That's exactly why I'm explaining I got TJ.
It's your list, bro.
Pouncey and I just think the difference is there between Pouncey and
I think the
DeCastro.
difference between how you view DeCastro, the way you view him, versus Pouncey and TJ Watt is headlines. But it's cool. Yes.
I don't know.
Absolutely,
about that, dude.
yes.
I mean,
Pouncey is talked about way more. TJ's talked about way more. Obviously, he plays pass rusher. TJ makes a big play, he goes crazy.
I don't think it's
If
headlines.
DeCastro makes a big play, you would never know.
Dude, if DeCastro had 8 Pro Bowls and maybe 3 All Pros, it's a different story.
He has 2 less seasons than Pouncey.
Okay, so I mean,
so how are you gonna? So it's 3 Pro Bowl difference, and he played 2 less seasons.
that's what I'm factoring all this shit in. Where, okay, the position is a little bit less important than the outside linebacker. The amount of years played, the 2 years less than Pouncey. All right, we got to factor that in, and then TJ's less years than both of them.
Okay.
I mean, you're counting all this kind of stuff in, and just, man, what makes sense to me? So that's what makes sense to me right there.
Hey man, it's your list, bro.
It is.
It's
my
your
list,
baby.
It is my list, man. I just don't get how with Pouncey he's definitely better than DeCastro, and TJ versus DeCastro. I'm trying to weigh this different stuff out. That's all.
Hey, it's your list, baby.
That's all.
It's your
man.
list.
Because I think you're just going strictly longevity on all of it for the most part.
No, I'm going accolades for the most part. TJ don't got more accolades than DeCastro. TJ hasn't been viewed as the
amount of years he's played.
No, don't you? 1 out of 3, he was viewed as the best player, he wasn't even
Pro Bowl.
It was
Pro Bowl
debatable.
Second year.
Okay, 2 Pro Bowls.
That's what I mean. For the amount of years that we're given,
Bro, come on. That doesn't even make sense to me. That's all I'm saying, bro.
how?
Because I'm looking at the guy who's got multiple All-Pros, multiple Pro Bowls, been viewed as the best or 1 or 2 at his position for a longer span of time. You're looking at TJ. TJ had 1 year where he's viewed as the top or arguably debatable top 2, top 3 at his position, depending on how they feel about Chandler Jones and Khalil Mack. That's all I'm saying. DeCastro was in that conversation every year for the past 5-6 years easily.
But it goes
That's
back.
all I'm saying. So you saying TJ off of 1 year being in that conversation is better than DeCastro having 6 years in that conversation? That's where we differ. That's all.
I'll take the unknown still with TJ.
Oh, man. So
Like
that's,
you said,
you just put Devin Bush up there.
Like you
then.
said, if we're taking the pick, yeah, I would if he had an All-Pro rookie year. That's what I mean. I would still take that unknown.
Cool.
Pouncey's known is just better than those other 2.
But how do you know? Because it's the unknown. How do you know? What if TJ Watt goes on to play 15 years of All Pros and Defensive Player of the Years? The unknown, right? That's what you said you would
That's
take.
why he's 2. No,
I'm just saying,
in that case.
why-
Not in
why
that
not?
case. I'm
Why
taking
not, though?
Pouncey over TJ.
Why? The unknown of TJ Watt could be bigger than that, though, right? What if he wins 2 Defensive Player of the Years like his brother?
Not at this point.
How do you know?
You ask me in 2 or 3 years, then yeah, maybe I'll bump him
But
up.
that's enough for you to pass him by DeCastro, the unknown.
Right now, yes.
You see how you just differ with both of those arguments, man? In one sense, you're willing to say the unknown, I like this over that. In this situation, now I don't want the unknown over that. But if it's the unknown, couldn't it be better than all of those guys?
I'm not saying I don't want the unknown. I'm factoring that in. And I'm saying I appreciate the Pouncey known a little bit more at this point.
Fair enough.
That's all.
I here's your list, baby.
That's all. It's a feel thing, man. And I want TJ as my 2 spot.
Cool.
Dude, DeCastro and Hayward, I have no really I mean, you could even put Hayward at 3 if you wanted.
Okay.
For me, I was going back and forth between 3 and 4. I just went DeCastro. Most people, I don't know.
You don't really like DeCastro,
I
bro. That's what it sounded like.
Huh?
It sounded like you don't really appreciate DeCastro.
I put him at 3.
You said he could be 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You go back and forth. I think you have Hayward over DeCastro though.
I have Hayward at 2, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, do we even have like a more or less a discussion between these 3? I mean, do you want to explain why you have Hayward over DeCastro?
No, the reason I have Hayward over DeCastro because first I play defense.
Because I
play defense better.
Okay, so there's that, and I'm assuming the same argument for having DeCastro over Watt would be, or Hayward over Watt would be the same as DeCastro over Watt then.
In what regard?
Just your reasonings for having DeCastro over Watt and Hayward over Watt.
No, my thing is this, because if you go on paper by the accolades, DeCastro has the more Pro Bowls, the All Pros and stuff like that. But when I know with Cam, a lot of the reason why he doesn't have those accolades right now was because of the classification of him being listed as a defensive end for the first 4 to 6 years, excuse me, of his career. Whereas when he got classified as a D tackle, which he truly is, you saw the accolades start to come in. His numbers speak for themselves. But that was the biggest issue with that. That's why I don't always get caught up in All Pro versus Pro Bowl and things like that. I actually look and say, you know what? I know what he was doing. His numbers say that. And they've been saying that for a long time, not just 1 or 2 years. And that's always my biggest thing. So that's why for me, I'm going for the guy who's been, even a guy like Cam who's been, you could say, top 5 at his position for a longer period of time. Give me that over a guy that's only had 2 years of really being in the conversation. Realistically, 1 year for TJ Watt, where he was really in that conversation of the best player at his position. Because when you can accumulate all 3, but the accumulation is more so focusing on this past year. Those first 2 years, he was having success. He was putting up numbers without a doubt, but he was not in any way, shape, or form viewed in the same regard as he's viewed as now. So for me, that's why I'm not going to let that one season wash away what I've seen DeCastro and Cam Hayward and even Marquise Pouncey do for such a longer time. It's not that I feel that TJ can't grow into be a better player than those guys, because I do think he has the potential to be bigger than all of them, especially with the position he's playing, his style of play. All of those things factor into this thing where you're talking about a guy's success, projecting it. But what we're saying is, for right now, we're going off the list of right now. It's not a, hey, who's going to have the better career 5 years from now? And I think
I'm doing both though. I mean,
you do.
My logic.
Every time we have a list.
My logic is different than yours. Just probably pretty much fundamentally. I like the peak. I like the defensive player of the year.
And he didn't win a defensive player of the year, though. That's the thing.
Borderline.
But he didn't win it, though.
Well, even though at the time,
he did not win it.
Time out. At the moment, we both agreed he didn't deserve it. But now, looking back on it, you know what? Did he get snubbed?
Stop it, bro. Stop it.
Are we sure he didn't get snubbed?
Stop it, man. That's all I'm saying. So it's like, it's funny to me. You'll casually throw it out there. Oh, defensive. He was in the conversation. Like, if there was a defensive or offensive line player of the year award or whatever, like, we know
do that.
Offensive lineman would never win it because it's a quarterback driven league. The same reason why receivers never win the award, running backs never win the award in terms of offensive player of the year, MVP and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, fundamentally, that argument is hard to really make that, because you're trying to give a guy praise for something that only one side of the ball is ever going to get a debate or be in that conversation to receive votes for, right? So what I'm saying is this, though. You talk about TJ Watt's Defensive Player of the Year nomination, right? And how his peak is so high. He was going to be the best.
Second year was Pro Bowl too.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. But are we really going to compare his second year to his third year? Or are we comparing his first year to his second year? Because they all were drastically different. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's my thing. Like, if DeCastro played in a position where you could put him in a conversation where, unless he plays quarterback, he's never going to be in the conversation for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. We know this. Unless you go crazy like Adrian Peterson did the one time. That's just how it works. So I'm not holding that against DeCastro, when for a fact DeCastro has been arguably a top 3 player at his position for a longer span.
For a team, though?
For a longer span.
I know in terms of accolades, but just in terms of team impact.
Impact.
A guard position versus outside linebacker.
So what's the impact of Marquise Pouncey?
No, I know, but that's
it's hard to make that. It's hard to go that route and talk that. Well, who has a more impactful position? Because if that's the case, then we can break the whole list and change it up and go by which position is more important. You would go outside linebacker.
No,
then you're going quarterbacks. Then you're probably going left tackles.
That's not my complete argument. That's part of it. It's just
yeah,
part
but
of it.
I'm just saying, when you bring that part up, it's kind of like when people debate Jordan and LeBron, right? First they go accolades. Then after the accolades, they'll go stats. And after the stats, they, well, who got the more rings? Then when you go rings, like, well, what about Robert Ory? What about Bill Russell? That's essentially what you're doing right now. You're giving me the Jordan has more rings than LeBron argument. Anytime you say, well, TJ Watt, I mean, if I'm drafting a team, I mean, I'm taking that position over.
I'm not going completely that, because you're right. It would be hypocritical for me to.
But people don't go completely. Jordan has more rings than LeBron is. There's argument.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not around. But that's my point. I'm not going completely outside linebacker over guard.
But you say it every time when it comes down to.
It's part of it. But I like the peak, dude. I mean, just having almost a defensive player of the year,
almost defensive player of the year.
Given the amount of seasons that they both played, they both performed. If not TJ better,
that's debatable.
Let's just say it's borderline equal, whatever.
I'm not saying that, because I'm not going to disrespect DeCastro and what he's been able to do for that longevity.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For the amount of years they've been playing. I'll give the nod to TJ, but it's pretty much equal. We'll agree with that. And then I'm not
saying what TJ Watt has done in 3 years is equal to what DeCastro has done in 6, 7, 8 years now. I'm not saying that. That's not a chance. What?
The ratio, though?
I don't care. Man, you could ratio. I don't care.
2 Pro Bowls in 3 years.
If that's the case, then
pro,
so if that's the case,
borderline
TJ
defensive
Watt's
player of
second
the year.
year. If that's the case, TJ Watt's second year when he was Pro Bowl in 2 years, then he's up there. You just said ratio.
Nope.
What's the difference?
It's a different year.
It's still a small sample size.
It's a different year.
And I'm not giving him you're giving him credit for not winning something.
Dude, if this was last year, I would definitely have TJ below Pouncey, Castro, Hayward.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't even know.
TJ gets credit for not winning an award. That was you telling me.
No. That's what do you mean? I don't get what that has to do with.
When you talk about his peak, you keep bringing up this defensive player of the year. He didn't win the award.
If someone wants to bring up Carson Wentz, they're gonna bring up that MVP season.
I don't, because he didn't win it.
Only one person wins it, and then there's
so he didn't win
factors
it.
And
so I'm not about to say MVP because
there's a lot of things that go into it.
No, and I'm sure we're gonna have this debate as well. But I'm sure you've had times where you would say Ben had an MVP type season, correct?
Yeah.
And when you look at the stats, he has never received an MVP vote. So for me, when you say MVP type season, I don't want to hear it because it's not factual. That's opinionated.
Right.
How can it be an MVP caliber season if he never received a vote? But you will sit here and you're not the only one. It's plenty of people that would say Ben has had MVP caliber season. Shoot, I feel he's had MVP caliber seasons.
Right.
But when you look at the stats, he has never received an MVP vote. So I'm not about to sit here and give TJ Watt credit for not winning something. I'm not. And just because you say, well, it was defensive player of the year caliber season.
I'm not going to let voters and all that. I'm not going to let...
No, you pick and choose when you want to, man. You pick and choose when you want to.
You're right. And if they, you know what, if they gave him the award, that's even a bigger boost to my argument. But I know what I saw. And I'm not letting voters dictate that. So I'm gonna make my point that he was definitely in the mix. I think everyone can agree. He was a top 4 finalist, correct?
Fair enough.
But I'm looking back, man. Was he snubbed? I'm just not sure.
You're funny, bro.
Nah, whoever got it was Gilmore. They got it. Yeah, I didn't have anything wrong with him winning it.
You're funny, bro.
That's on tape actually, so I'll stay consistent with that.
Oh, you stay consistent now. All right.
Consistently inconsistent, but I think we need to revisit the TJ thing, maybe just a little bit.
Okay. It's just funny, man. You're biased towards a position that you can look at and say this, and this, versus a position that we've already talked about in terms of offensive lineman that isn't as glamorous.
I gave the lineman the one spot though.
No. That's because Pouncey's track record. If you were to say anything else, people would probably look at you like you were crazy. And I think you knew that. But then you try to make that same case that you were going to make for the Pouncey argument with DeCastro. And I'm telling you it's crazy. But for you, because that's the simpler argument to just say, well, I know pass rusher. I know it's important.
I think your side's simpler. I think more people are going to agree with you.
I don't think so.
No way.
Depending
on the audience, I think YouTube's gonna agree with you. I think Instagram.
Yeah, because it's more of it's easier to say, hey, I know what TJ Watt does. I see him get a sack. I know how important that is. Whereas when you look at DeCastro, it's like somebody has to make a DeCastro highlight tape and really point out why he's dominant and why he's good. Think about what Pouncey.
The articles I was reading, they were saying DeCastro.
Bro, because DeCastro, I don't think you understand how awesome of a player DeCastro is.
He's good, man.
And no, not good. Awesome. It's different. He's in a totally different category. When you say, oh, it's Pouncey and it's clear cut. If Pouncey's a 10, DeCastro's an 8.5, 9. I don't think you fully understand that, though. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. So when you're telling me that TJ, after 3 seasons, where only 1, he's been in that best of his position conversation, to put him over DeCastro, to me, I'm like, that's crazy.
I said TJ's 3 seasons are 9.1.
If TJ's 3 seasons are 9.1, then DeCastro's full career will be a 10.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Absolutely. If we're going that route, if I'm going accumulation.
So Pouncey's a 10 though too. Pouncey would be an 11 for his whole career.
Pouncey would be 11 for his whole career. Perfect.
If we're going out of 10 though.
Okay, well then DeCastro's a 9.8. I don't think you fully understand. Like in the league,
but
man.
You said he was 8.5, 9 when going to Pouncey.
Well, that's before you said that TJ whole career is a 9.1 in 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah,
that's crazy. So we just watched the first year away then, huh? First year don't even count because there's no way.
What was wrong with his rookie year? DeCastro's rookie year was hurt.
All I'm saying is this, man. So weren't you the same one that when we talked about Ladarius Green being hurt? And we're not going to hold that against him. Isn't that what you just said? Thing. So now you're going to hold DeCastro being hurt in his rookie year. No,
because you're bringing up TJ's rookie year.
You just said that.
You're bringing up TJ's rookie year.
When I think rookie, I think of your first year playing in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So if DeCastro was hurt in 12, okay, 13 then is his rookie year. Same difference. Whenever his first year was, whenever he played in that season.
But that's still a year. That's a year of time missed.
Whatever.
Could have been doing some stuff for the team.
Either way, he still was more dominant than TJ over a longer span of time.
I'll give you the longer span of time. I don't know about
more dominant for a longer span of time.
I'll give you the longer span of time.
He was more dominant for a longer span of time.
For the amount of years they've played. I don't know about that.
He has been. The proof is in the pudding.
I don't know about that, dude.
So when was TJ dominant in terms of just flat out, hey, there's no answer for that. This year, yes. Second year was debatable. In fact, the second year,
Pro Bowl, second year.
No. We already talked about the Pro Bowl. We ain't worried about that. But the reason why people were still getting on TJ in that second year, similar to his first year, they said, well, man, you look at his numbers, 3 sacks, Cleveland Browns, 3 sacks, Atlanta Falcons. Then he disappears for 3 games. No sacks. Then he disappears. And that was the big knock on TJ Watt going into this year. In terms of why they were saying the difference between him versus a Von Miller versus a Chandler Jones versus a Khalil Mack. The impact. They say TJ would go and have crazy 1 games where he's 3.5 sacks, just ball out insane. We saw that his first year he did that. Went crazy. Versus the Browns. I think versus the Browns he has like 20 sacks total. It's crazy. But like when you look at the way his first years were going, he would have 1 crazy game, 2 to 3 games of just nothing, silence. You wouldn't even know he was out there. Then he would have another crazy game. This past year was when he put it together and every game was crazy like that. So don't tell me that TJ over 3 years is as dominant as DeCastro's career has been when DeCastro, each year that he's played, it's not even a debate. He's top 2, top 3 at his position. TJ hasn't become top 2, top 3 at his position until this past season.
His numbers, first 3 years, are better than Mack and Von Miller. That's all I'm saying. And
that's fine. But if I'm picking who I'm taking, if they're both in their prime, I'm going Von Miller. If they're both in their prime, I'm going Khalil Mack.
That's different then.
Oh, now it's different then.
It is because we're not talking Steelers draft.
Who you
pick.
taking, man? If you going prime, if you're Mr. Rooney, they're all in their prime. You got Von Miller, Defensive Player of the Year.
Mack might be a little overrated.
Super Bowl MVP. You got Khalil Mack.
Yeah, you are.
And then you got TJ Watt. Who you taking?
You're taking those 2 right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's different than Steelers draft picks.
Oh, I was just wondering. That's it.
It's definitely different than Steelers draft picks.
That's it. I was just wondering. That's
cool. Mean?
I was just wondering.
They've proven it over a longer time. That's all.
Oh, that's crazy. You said that.
It is.
Why do you care about the longer period of time for those guys than TJ Watt's 3 years though? I mean, you just said it yourself. TJ first 3 years compared to those 3 years. Those 3 guys. I mean, in terms of Khalil Mack and Von Miller, his first 3 years better. So why would you take
position? They got the same position.
So why would you take them over TJ?
Position.
Why would you take them over TJ then?
Huh?
You just said TJ's first 3 years.
I thought you were going to say over DeCastro.
No,
why would I take him over?
Yeah, you said you would take Von Miller and Khalil Mack over TJ Watt, correct?
Because their numbers are similar those first 3 years. Although, like I said, TJ's are slightly better. However you want to look at them,
better, then why wouldn't you take TJ over those guys then?
Because they've kept proving it.
No. Yeah. Because DeCastro's kept proving it as well, but you don't care about that. So how do you? No. So
I do care about that.
No,
it's
you
just
don't. You pick and choose when you want to care about it.
And that's when I said position. That's why I'm taking TJ over DeCastro.
Okay.
That's all.
Hey man, it's your list.
It is my list.
Next, who did you have up at 4?
That was the whole.
No, I mean that was the whole debate.
Cam Hayward.
Right.
I if you ask me next week, I could say Hayward at 3 over DeCastro. That really doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Right now, that's what it is though.
Okay.
And then my next one was Bud Dupree over Shazier.
Yeah.
And this one was tough. This one was really tough.
I need to hear this one.
What?
I'm ready to hear this one.
I think it's just more or less availability at this point. That's all it really is. Okay. We got Bud. He had an amazing season last year, and then we're just gonna have him. So I think that factors in.
Okay.
He's played 70 games. I think Shazier's 40 something.
Okay.
So that's all I really got, and I think Bud's gonna keep playing at the way he has been playing.
I just find it funny when you want to pick and choose about availability, longevity, who's done it longer. Because if we talk about who had the absolute peak, who was better, Shazier's peak, even though it was shorter, it's not even close. But you just argue that with TJ versus DeCastro. And inside linebacker is not as valuable as outside linebacker. So please help me understand how that argument works for this situation, but then the other one is totally different. I'm not following you. You see how you keep moving around?
No, because Shazier's career is already finite. That's unfortunately it is. That's all. I'm being serious. That's it.
Okay. If no other game was ever played again, though, that's how you judge a list, right? When we're saying all decade team, we're not saying all future team. We're going off of what they have done now to this point, not what you're projecting them to do. What they have done right now. So how do you keep making those statements about, man? Well,
no, it is, but it is hindsight.
But we're not.
It's completely hindsight.
We're talking about right now what they have done.
Do you make this pick again?
What did they do? What have they done?
That's what I mean. Do you make this? Now? Do you make this pick again, knowing what they've done right now? And so I mean, I would.
And you can, when you make the argument about a pick, it's totally different drafting a team versus ranking players. Because if you're drafting a team, if a quarterback is on this list, if it's a quarterback out there, and not even a Hall of Fame quarterback, just a really good quarterback. Really good quarterbacks go before any of these guys because of the position. If you're drafting a team, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't keep bringing it up if I'm drafting a team, because personally, that's not how it works.
I mean, do you make the pick though? Like, are you like, all right, I'm set on making this pick?
What do you mean? I'm not following you, bro.
I mean, are you picking Shazier again over Dupree?
Yes.
Knowing everything that's happened, hindsight.
How do you
2020.
know everything that's happened? That's the argument is total. Like, you're making two separate arguments, bro.
No, I don't think.
If we're talking about what has a player done in his career to this point, hindsight 2020, whatever it may be, what have they done to this point?
That's what I mean.
It's totally different than if I'm the availability this guy. If he's available, if that's the case, Pouncey's missed a lot of time as well. Are you taking Pouncey again? He missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
Are you taking him again? But I mean, he's missed a lot of time. Availability, right?
Shazier's career is only 3-4 seasons, and he was hurt during those seasons.
But his peak, though, you saw what he was in the defensive player of the year conversation before he went down.
I don't know about that.
Oh, now you don't know about that. Why? Because media didn't talk about it too high? It wasn't always chirped about?
I guess that's it, yeah.
Oh, well, he was in the conversation. He was balling out. He was about to get paid. He was about to get the crazy contract. He was there.
He was awesome. And that's what I mean. It's just unfortunate. It's tough to make that argument, but I think it's just matter of fact. I would take Dupree. He's had that 11.5 sack season. Mm-hmm. Going back to the whole, did he get this? Did he not get this? Obviously, he should have got a Pro Bowl last year. He was completely robbed.
Mm-hmm. So now you coming against the accolades. It's funny how you work, bro.
What do you mean?
It's funny how you work.
I was against them for TJ.
Yeah, now all of a sudden they say, man,
I'm against that system.
No, you're not. No, you're not, because that was your main argument point, right? When you was talking TJ, man, in such a short span, he had these Pro Bowls, he got this. Which one is it, bro?
He deserved those Pro Bowls, though. That's when they got it right. There's times they get it wrong. They get it wrong.
Oh, man. Okay.
Cool. But no, it's simple as, I mean, we have Bud Dupree now for next year, for years to come. Mm-hmm. So that's literally my only thing. Because if we are talking peaks, we are talking that, yeah, it is obviously Shazier. Okay. But availability, he has been injured when he was good with us. Mm-hmm. And then his career is finite.
Bud hasn't missed any time.
He's missed time, yeah.
Bud hasn't missed time every year except this past year, huh?
No, he has missed some time.
Oh.
I think there was only 1 year it was extended time, though. I think it was the second year. I could be wrong with that. But just overall, 70 games versus Shazier, I think it was like 46 maybe, from what I looked at. What I can remember, at least.
Okay. You're funny.
That's my only argument with that. I don't really have much. Like, do you have more of your, I guess, rebuttal or reasoning for yours?
Mine
or
is
if
simple.
you explained it?
When you talk peak players, because I'm not going off of what they could do tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised. It's no guarantee there will be another season. So if we're going all things considered, Ryan Shazier, when he was playing, when he was healthy, he was in the conversation to be the best player at his position. He was in that conversation. We all can agree upon that. With Bud Dupree, even this season, his best season as a professional, he wasn't even viewed as the best outside linebacker on his team. Now, granted, he's playing with TJ, but he wasn't even viewed as the best outside linebacker on his team. Debatable if, when we're ranking duos, how high you would have them ranked just because of him. I mean, if you were to compare the dynamic duos of Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware type, you know what I mean? Are we going down the list of the different like pairs? he was always viewed as the weak link. And even now, people with his 11.5 sacks, people still say it was only because of TJ Watt. They say, oh, that's easy replaceable. Now, I don't agree with that personally, but that's what people say about it. So for me, that was never the case with Shazier. Shazier, you already knew what he was doing. You could see when he was healthy, he can ball out with the best of them. It was never a debate about it. You saw him personally take over games multiple times. Big games, critical plays, he was going to make a play. You knew that. With Bud, they still say, man, well, you need to play right now. They don't look to Bud. They're looking at TJ. That's the fans' perspective. They're looking for TJ to make that play. So that's why for me, I can't put Bud over Shazier just because, well, Bud's played more games, because according to you, that doesn't matter. Because if that's the case, then you would easily have DeCastro over TJ because of what he's done for so much longer and the peak that he's played with it so much longer. But
you're taking me saying like games, the amount of games are to extremes.
That's what you're saying.
But it's not an extreme.
You're taking 3 years.
It's something to consider
for 7 or 8 years. That's all I'm saying.
Just in this case, yes. But that's how it is. You go case by case. Like, this is why I have this guy ranked here. Now I gotta stack it up against these players and weigh all these different things.
I think the difference is this. For me, I stick with the same grade sheet. I feel like you switch your grade sheet.
But no, that is problematic when you're talking NBA, and if you're gonna stick with the same thing, rings. That's it.
Some people try to do that.
Yeah, but
it's a flawed statement.
But that could get problematic.
It can't, only for the people that want to make an argument for rings. Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean with sticking with one thing though. If you're gonna stick with stats, that's problematic too. If you're gonna stick with team wins, that's problematic.
It's only problematic when the person that you're trying to put up there on this pedestal doesn't stack up. Now all of a sudden we got a debate. Oh, well, it's not just that, it's some of this. Oh, it's not just it's some of that too. Oh, but it's some of that too.
That's life. I mean, you're weighing all these different things.
No, at the end of the day, what life is, people are trying to do whatever it takes to make them be in front. And we see that with the list. You're going to say one thing to benefit another person. Then when he gets to this part, we go, that same thing you were saying for this person, you'll say in a totally different way for the other person. But it's all about making your argument work. I'm doing the same thing and it's fine. Like, I ain't saying it ain't bad, but that's what it is. It is. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Understood.
But I just don't think you truly understand or can appreciate DeCastro. That's all I'm saying, bro. And that's fine. But you really do not. I don't think you fully understand.
I do think he's more replaceable than TJ. Like, that's what I'm thinking in the back of my mind. Can I go in and throw BJ Finney or one of these dudes in there and the offense is looking good? I take TJ Watt out of defense.
Well, Bud Dupree still had 11.5 sacks. You're not missing a beat, are you?
I don't know about that, dude.
But I mean,
they are a duo.
Think about this: before TJ Watt, Debo was still getting out there producing sacks, was he not? Willie was over there putting sacks up, was he not? The argument can be made. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, what? Woodley? Wait, you're bringing up Harrison and Woodley?
I'm just saying, like you said, if TJ was not out there, could I replace him? Could I just plug this guy in? I'm just simply saying, on the team right now, you have a guy who has 11.5 sacks on the team right now. What other All-Pro guard do you have on the team right now?
We got a line though. This goes back to the whole position thing.
What other All-Pro guard do you have on the team right now? And we saw firsthand what is. I mean, you've seen Aaron Donald play before. The guard position isn't important until you got Aaron Donald over there absolutely ragdolling people. We've seen that, have we not? Okay,
fair. That's a once in a lifetime player.
Oh, so what about JJ Watt? He does it too.
He's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
TJ Watt's pretty good.
I'm just saying. I mean, we can go down this list of why you need interior linemen and why they are important and why they have Hall of Fame positions for guard as well. It's cool.
Same reason why you need outside linebackers.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, man. Yeah.
Did you want to get into our last two?
Well, first,
because we got Bush and Edmonds.
Where did you have? Right? Yeah, because I have Bush and Edmonds still behind Shazier and Dupree, and then I had Jarvis over Artie, and you had Artie over Jarvis, correct?
Yeah.
And what was your reasoning with that?
At least Artie gave us that rookie year. Where
what do you mean?
He gave us a really good rookie year whenever he came in, and you thought he was going to be lockdown corner. He was locked down for the most part whenever he was here that rookie year. There was definitely a big. I don't know if it was just because we were that bad at cornerback for how many years, and he came in and just anything was better than what we had.
Mm-hmm.
And he played really well rookie year and made some impact plays. I remember him having some picks. I don't remember one thing from Jarvis. That's as simple as that. Fair I remember enough. Jarvis being hurt a lot and being
Jarvis last year was probably better than Artie's rookie year though.
I just remember Jarvis being a way bigger disappointment. Yeah. He was picked I mean,
expectations were a lot higher. For
I don't know
Jarvis
how
than
much.
for
Yeah,
Artie.
I don't know how much that has to play into it either. Because when he was picked, A+ pick by the Steelers, A pick, sure prospect. There's no shot this is gonna miss. Something we needed to. He was. I mean, he was an all-time talent coming out of Georgia, and then he just completely flopped.
Yeah.
Burns, on the other hand, you knew he was going to be a project coming out of Miami. He was really young.
Oh man, you're not about to hit me with all this, bro.
What do you
He was
mean?
a first round pick.
He was a first-round pick, but
First round picks. I don't want to hear project with first round pick. First round pick is first round pick. I'm not about.
They both.
You're not about to hit me with that. Nah, bro. You are not about to hit me with that one. Nah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
First round pick.
I do not want to. You know, I don't want
He
to
was
hear
not
that.
as much of a project as a second or third round pick.
I ain't hearing. I'm not
But
hearing
we're talking
that, bro.
first rounders here.
I understand. I'm not hearing that, bro.
Apparently, we did
Y'all
want
gotta
William
be true.
Jackson over Burns. I just don't think the expectations were there with Burns compared to Jones. And he came in and surprised us his rookie year. And then
You just said it yourself, though. Was
What?
it more surprised because of how bad they were, or because of what he was doing? It was actually good.
he did have I think he had 3 picks. And from what I remember, he played pretty well his rookie year. I just don't remember Jones ever playing well.
Fair enough.
That's my opinion. You got your take?
Well, yeah, I know for a fact Jones played really well his last year here. For a fact.
I'm just looking at. I was looking at Pro Football Reference. I just wasn't seeing it.
I understand that's what you do.
And
I look at impact, man. I look at the plays they were making, and I look at who played more.
And like
Jarvis,
I said, I don't remember it. So
And I look at this, man. Jarvis has played in a lot more games and has still put up good numbers in terms of runs down. The biggest thing with Jarvis was the sack numbers. That was always the issue. Well, he's not getting the sacks. When you looked at the tackles, you looked at the forced fumbles, he was getting interceptions. You look at all that stuff, his boxes are checked. He does have all of that. With Artie was benched, his third year here? Think about that, man.
yeah,
And then got released his fourth year.
was it?
No. I don't want to say he got released.
Did we pick up his 5th-year option?
No,
Am
definitely
I
didn't
off?
pick up.
Am I off here?
Definitely pick up
Okay.
the option. No. He didn't. He didn't get released, but obviously it was. Let me just double check. And he got released.
Dude, it might have been.
I know, that's what I'm
It
checking.
could have
I'm
been.
like,
We
was
could
it?
check. We could check. But
Yeah,
either
go
way,
check
we
real quick, man.
didn't re-sign him, or thought it was worthwhile to bring him back. He's on.
No, he had 4 years here. Yeah,
Okay, so we declined his option for next year.
but literally in his 4 years, let's see, played a lot his first year. Obviously, he had the 3 picks.
Yeah, the 3 picks.
Started 16 games the second year.
13 PDs.
Then after
65
that,
tackles.
Then after that, 6 games. Played in 16. Had 6 starts. Literally, I mean, yeah, you saw his stats in 18 and then 19. He was here, but he really wasn't getting those opportunities.
No, 18 and 19 weren't there.
That's all I'm saying, man.
So I'll just take the average production he gave us in his second year and what I remember as pretty good production his rookie year.
Yeah.
I'll take that over. I don't remember one good thing from Jones. I just don't.
Man, that's weird because in 15 he had a pick. 16 he had a pick. Let's see. He had 2 sacks, 1 sack, 2 sacks, 1 sack, 40 tackles in his rookie year and his last year here. 4 tackles for loss, 4 tackles for loss, 2-1, 6-5-3-3, QB hits. Like I said, and he's played in a ton more games, so availability was there. Starts were there. He was still a starting linebacker for pretty much 3 out of those 4 years here. Yeah, man. Has some impact plays, 2, 3, 4 forced fumbles, some pass deflections.
None of this stuff's coming into my mind. Like
I figured that.
It's just not registering.
But as soon as you said it, I can see-
trying to replay things. At least I remember some of those Burns picks.
So would you rather have a guy who had 3 picks and then doesn't even see the field for 2 years after that? So essentially you drafted a guy in the first round and you only used him for 2 seasons, whereas with Jarvis, he was the starting linebacker for 4 years here.
I just don't remember anything good coming from him. That's all.
All I'm saying, we'll put it like this, you don't remember anything bad either, right? Because with Artie, that was
No,
the
I
big
do.
talk.
I
With
remember.
Artie, everybody talked bad about Artie.
I remember him not living up to expectations.
Not
Josh.
living up to expectations versus what people were saying about Artie. Totally 2 different things, though.
I don't remember anything good coming from Jones.
What do you remember good coming from Artie?
I do. Those picks his rookie year.
So you just
Big plays.
You just washed out the rest of the year.
I guess so. I guess that's what's going on here.
Doesn't surprise me with you. So it's all good, man.
Dude, I'll take that rookie year over anything Jones has done. Simple as that. It's as simple as that.
All right.
We didn't need Burns last year. We had Joe Hayden.
Hey, bro.
We had Steven Nelson.
Whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
Burns. I mean, if you want to get deep, Burns led us to getting Joe Hayden.
And that's a good thing
It might
for
be.
Burns. That would be a good thing for Burns.
I'm saying for the team. Yep.
So how's it good for Burns though? If we're ranking. The fact that you didn't need to get a linebacker right away because Jarvis was still the starting linebacker out there, was still playing, tells you everything you need to know right there. One was so bad.
Sometimes in life you want to hit that breaking point where you're like, I gotta move on. Where it's, as opposed to just being steady and it's just not, it's below average production.
Not with a first rounder.
They're both first rounders though.
Exactly. At least I got 4 years of starting play out of one guy, whereas with Artie
I'm just being a jackass, dude.
Clearly. It's cool, bro.
Just a funny little point to bring up.
Hey, man. Whatever you say.
I'm taking Burns over Jones. This
it's your list, bro.
This would be a funny one to put out there.
It's your list.
Do you think there'd be outrage with this one? Jones versus Burns?
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know how you people think about football. Every day I wake up, I realize that my football knowledge is drastically different than a lot of people that I interact with on a daily basis.
Is it changing at all?
No, not a chance. It's letting me know that, certain times, it's just, I might as well talk to a wall. With a lot of people. It's not you, with a lot of people. Just because it's different levels,
You could say me, dude. No,
man. Just for a lot of people, I just realized, like, it's never going to be the same. Unless I'm in that circle. It's just,
You like the purest like form of football talk?
Nah, I ain't even go there, man. It's just, it's just certain people, certain groups. It's just,
It gets too convoluted.
Like I said, man, with just certain people, just certain groups, I know who these conversations should be had with. That's all. It's all good. But it's good for the different opinions. I'm glad that we get to hear the different opinions. And shout out to the comment section too, because people are able to comment and put their opinions. So we get a lot of different perspectives and feedback. And just hearing the different thought process in terms of why people rank people the way they are and go about it the way they do. So I'm cool with that. You know what? It's good. I'm fine with it.
I'm trying to think. I think people are gonna agree with you on Shazier over Dupree.
I hope they don't agree with me on anything. I hope they have TJ Watt number one, or I hope they agree with your list more than my list. I do.
For my sake.
No, for my sake.
Why?
For my sake.
Why for your sake?
Just cuz. I hope they agree with you wholeheartedly.
I think you got Shazier over.
I want them to look at me like I'm crazy. That's what I want. Yep.
Then you're on the right path.
Look at me like I'm crazy. I don't agree with me at all. I want you to Motes don't know what he talking about. Hit me with the Motes just bitter. That's the next one I need. Motes is bitter with the organization. Give me that one. That's my favorite. Give me that one. Yeah.
You've heard that one?
Only when talking quarterback play.
I've never heard organization. I've heard that. I've heard that you're just a hater.
Yeah. So as long as I'm getting that, I'm good. That helps me sleep good at night.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'll be interested. To see how this plays out. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Cool, man. We got it all
good, bro.
Here,
absolutely, man. So shoot. Fun. Podcast is dope. You're gonna definitely love this interview that we got, man, with Carlos Davis, 7th round pick out of the University of Nebraska, new D tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're definitely gonna enjoy that, man. It was a fun conversation. So yeah, man, we got just heat on top of heat. Also, CML update. Shout out to the C.
I didn't think we were talking about this. What's going on here?
We had a tough one last night, man. Dropped one to the Arizona Cardinals, man. It was heartbreaking fashion. Yeah, man. We were. Whew.
We're still in first. Actually, I made standings because I wanted to post that out.
As long as we're still in first, you got to ride with it, man. Don't change with it, man. We're still in first.
We're 7-6. Mm-hmm. Browns are 7-6 now too. They won last week, and we are. I think it's obviously the 4th seed in the AFC, but the Browns are in the wild card right now. So there's 3 7-6 teams.
Yeah.
Actually, there might be 4. Yeah, I think there's 4. So there's 1 7-6 team right now that would be out. Okay. But we have the tiebreaker of the Browns.
Okay.
But I don't know how that plays out going forward.
Okay.
Which is concerning.
As long as we're in first place, you got to ride with whatever you've been doing, man.
There's been some comments.
It shouldn't be any comments, man. This is a far-going thing, bro. We already know this.
I'm going to meditate on what decision needs to be made.
Bro, you got to ride with the person that got us here. That's what was said 2 weeks ago, right? We're in first place because of, this group. We have to ride with it. Post a picture and just say what the stats have been in the first quarter of the last 3 games, and then we're good, bro. It's all about how you, finagle the message. We've seen it. I saw it firsthand. It's cool, bro. So, do what you do. Puppet master that thing. Talk about, just who got more touchdowns this season. Don't put context around how many games, who's played what, just who has more touchdowns, who has more passing yards. Throw that screenshot up there, and then we're good, bro. You know how you do? Yeah.
There's going to be tough decisions that need to be made here.
No, they don't need to be made. Not at all.
I think I left it to fan voting before, and I'll leave it to fan voting
Well,
again.
just make sure that you just put total touchdowns as, who you putting out there?
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of that.
Touchdowns and yardage. That's all you need to have out there.
Because I think I did the last 4 games.
So, yeah, do touchdowns and yardage over the past 4 games and put it up there that way.
This is tough. I don't know. I mean, people listening, maybe they haven't
Give them a little
watched
context,
it.
man. Let them know what's going on, man.
Things have been rough for the all-time Steelers.
Like what do you mean?
And Madden is screwing the quarterback play.
Oh, my gosh. Are we going the excuse route already?
Yep, because Ben wouldn't be playing like
You can't even just admit one thing about just Madden. Just, jeez.
Ben,
you all the way there with it.
Ben wouldn't be playing like this.
Okay. But since he is playing like this for the game's sake, can we just talk about his stats, please? So the listeners can have context.
There's just been some picks over the last stretch of 4 or 5 games.
How many picks are we talking about anyway?
And there was a controversy because we brought it up here.
He took a safety to lose a game in overtime.
I mean, you saw the clip, did you not? That was just Madden cursing the league, putting their own little ghost in the system, whatever you want to call it.
So when we're looking at Bradshaw, how many picks does he have on the season?
0.
How many picks does Ben have right now on the season?
I don't know.
You know.
Double digits.
You know. Don't say double digits. You know. How many does he have?
Probably 19 or 20.
You said 18 2 games ago. He just threw 2 picks.
We were talking on
yesterday.
the phone. I didn't
He
have
threw
the
2
stats
picks
in
yesterday.
front of me.
That's 20.
It's probably 19 or 20.
It's probably 20.
So that's why there's tough decisions to be made.
No, it's no decision, man.
That's
we
all,
we
man.
ride with 7, man.
That's
You know
all.
that. Ride with 7,
I'm
baby.
conflicted because I could feel it. I could feel the pain in the fans.
Ride with 7, baby. Let's ride.
I could feel the pain in the fans that were watching the game. So I got a decision here to make. I don't know if it's a decision I have to make. I think it's going to be a fan vote.
Why? We already did the fan vote. Why we need to do another fan vote?
It's a week by week, dude.
Come on, man.
Dude,
Ben should not be on this short leash, bro.
He wasn't, but
So why are you putting him on a short leash right now?
virtual, Ben. Let's put it that
Where's
way.
your loyalty at, bro? Where is your loyalty?
Well, dude, you told me about this scenario, and
I was intoxicated, clearly.
you thought I was gonna be more one way than the other. That I would be willing to see everything burn.
Yeah,
But
you're the Joker. I love it.
But you're seeing me in this scenario, and
it's because
I'm putting deep thought into it.
You're not. I think this is your thought. I think you're saying to yourself, "Do I risk not making the playoffs and Ben just completely throwing the season with interceptions and turnovers, pick sixes, and more importantly, the pick sixes? Or do I admit that, all right, Ben has stunk it up and put Terry in, and then Terry goes on and has success? Now you be contemplating, man, maybe I should put Ben back in.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. If
Terry had one bad game, you would do it.
I think this is why I'll leave it to the fan vote again.
See? Ben said how many games?
Well, at this point, we haven't seen Bradshaw.
So but this is
It
my
was just
thing.
that one game Ben got hurt and Bradshaw
If you
came
put Bradshaw in and Bradshaw had one good game, but then next game he was average, threw a pick, you would be so quick to pull him. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think, dude.
Okay, say he had a Ben-like game where he threw 5 picks.
Got to mix it up.
See? So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be funny watching Deke in this whole situation, baby. I vote keep 7 in there, man. You had the chance to make the move. The argument was, hey, we're still in first place. So until we're not in first place, I don't think you should make a switch. So with that being said, man, ride with 7.
So that's what it takes. That's the trigger.
That's what you said. And a lot of fans said that we're still in first place. You said that was a part of your argument.
the first place we were in then versus the first place now.
Still
we're
first place?
It feels like we're backing into first place, almost like teams back into the playoffs.
Dude, you're still backing into some of those wins.
When we were first place, no. When we were in first place, we were in first place.
But you saw his numbers even
and we
win.
beat the Browns.
And we said that they weren't winning because of Ben in the game. They were winning in spite of Ben in the game. We could all agree upon that. When you looked at Ben's numbers,
some games
more than less. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, bro.
There was some clutch plays.
There was a lot of games where he was saved. It's cool. That's all I'm saying, man. So I don't think you should switch. I think you've made your bed.
I can't believe I started this league and this is happening.
I think that it was destined to happen just like that, bro. It was destiny. And now you put yourself in this uneasy position. Something that's supposed to be fun, you over here all torn up over. I love it.
It definitely makes it funnier. I'll put it that way. It makes it entertaining.
It's the irony of it all, man.
Yeah. But I'm glad it's a virtual league. It's not real life. Although sometimes you're watching these games and
it looks real.
I'm telling you, man, the comments, how people get
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it.
It looks very
real.
It feels real sometimes.
And a ton of people are viewing it too, man. So shout out to that, man.
Yeah.
So that's the current situation.
We'll have until Monday because we do Monday and Thursday. So next game will be Monday. So we'll see what happens.
So it's gonna be interesting, baby.
Yeah.
But this is a fun thing, man. Fun little episode today, man. A lot of content for the people out there. So y'all definitely enjoy it. Shout out to all the listeners as well, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to all the viewers and all the subscribers on YouTube, man. Definitely means a lot to us, man. So we appreciate that. And till next time, man.
Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited about this next guest we have coming on. This young man started at the University of Nebraska, man, where him and his twin brother went over there to have very successful careers. This guy was also an All-American discus thrower while at the University of Nebraska, and him, along with his twin brother Khalil, became the first Huskers in 50 years to be 8-time letter winners at Nebraska, where they obviously had letters in track and field along with football. So he's now the 7th round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Davis. Carlos, what's the word, man? Glad to have you on, man. Appreciate you taking some time out to talk with us for a little while. So,
yes.
Just to start things out, man, you have a twin brother who was also drafted this year, man. Went to the Bucs in the 6th round. So just talk about what that was like growing up in a household where you have a twin brother who's just as talented and athletic as you are, man.
It was very competitive. Ever since we were growing up, from the time we started sports till now that we're on our different paths, it was always competitive. It didn't matter what it was, eating, who could get to the car the fastest, whatever it was, who could brush their teeth the fastest, whatever it was, we were trying to compete for it.
I like that. And man, shoot, you talk about the speed element of it. Both of you guys posted very, very fast times when you compare your size and things like that at the NFL Combine, man. So I definitely can see that. Now, Talk about a little bit, man. What led you to, commit with your brother to go to play at Nebraska?
My uncle played there back in the 80s, and he was a black shirt there. That's what they call their defense, the black shirts.
Okay.
And that's kind of all we knew. And we had other offers. We had a lot of offers for track, and about like a little less than 10 offers for football. And when Nebraska offered, we shut it down. We committed as juniors, and then we didn't take any more official visits. We only took one.
So you saying you were more recruited for track and field, because I know you beat your brother in the state championships in Missouri for what? Discus and for shot put, correct?
Yes.
Man, okay. I like that.
We originally got recruited for track. They didn't really know we played football.
Wow. That's nuts.
So.
Oh, I like it, man. And the fact that y'all been teammates for all through high school, obviously 5 years at Nebraska. How are you handling this being your first time going out there without your brother in the locker room with you, man?
It's going to be different. It's kind of crazy because now we're not together studying playbooks. We're on our own. He's learning his stuff and I'm learning my stuff, and so we're trying to put it all together. But we're excited. But I know I'm going to miss him whenever we do go apart. but it'll be a new experience for both of us.
He was picked before you, correct?
Say that again?
He was picked before you, correct? In the draft?
Yeah, 6th round, yeah.
Was there any jealousy, any resentment going on there, or was it all love?
No. It was all love.
We didn't know if he was trying to get you back for you beating him in the state championships. You know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah, it definitely goes back and forth. So he has that one. He has that one over me. So
now I got a question about Nebraska. Just that area in general, like the Midwest, being on the East Coast here, kind of seems like no man's land. You don't really know what there is to do. It's kind of farmland and flat. What is there to do in Nebraska? How did you spend your time? Like, what was fun out there?
Me and Khalil, we are big outdoors guys, so we went fishing all across the state. We probably fished a little bit of everywhere in Nebraska. But they have really good fishing out in western Nebraska. It's about 4 hours west. And it's closer to Colorado, but they have some good fishing out there, and that's where we kind of spend most of our time out there.
I like that.
So just that low key lifestyle, then, huh?
Yeah, and I've been scoping out some lakes in Pennsylvania. So I know there's some pretty good spots out there too.
No, there definitely is.
That's tight, man. That is tight. So, man, take us through draft night for you, man, because I know that had to be just a crazy experience, obviously, with you and your brother both being selected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we knew we would go at some point, and ESPN gave us a camera to record everything, and it was really just kind of anticipation, a lot of waiting around. I remember like halfway through the day, everybody like kind of took naps. I had to go recharge my phone downstairs, so I wasn't even in the camera. And so like right after afternoon, things started to get like more exciting. We saw our living room on the TV.
That's tight.
On the camera, and so we're like, it kept anticipating, and then Khalil got the call, and then from down there, it felt like it was about 2 hours, but it was really like 30 minutes in between. And then I got the call, and then the place just went crazy.
Hey, that's funny. You said it felt like 2 hours. Me being a 6th round draft pick, I can tell you 1,000%. Those rounds take forever until you get that phone call, man.
Yes.
I like it, man. Now, when I was looking at you playing at Nebraska, man, 5 years there, you had 3 different defensive coordinators. And I know firsthand just how challenging that could be. So just talk a little bit about how you were able to constantly evolve with the changes and overcome and still be a successful player there.
Yeah, it was a very interesting ride. Like you said, 3 coordinators. I had 5 D-line coaches.
Jeez.
And it was really, I really had to learn to prove myself every year because a new coach is coming in, new system. And you know how coaches are when they come in, they like to make a statement.
Absolutely.
Who the tough guys are. And me and Khalil just kind of rose to the top every time, proved ourselves, and were able to get starting jobs and just, we made it out of there.
I like that, bro. I like that. And man, that's just, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you were able to have this type of success while playing with your brother at the biggest stage. I mean, when you talk about playing at Nebraska, that's a crazy storied collegiate university, especially when it comes to football, man. So now that you're joining another storied franchise with the Pittsburgh Steelers, what does that mean for you?
It's big. I love tradition. I know Pittsburgh has a real good fan base there, just like Nebraska did. And I just think highly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I got to talk to Coach Tomlin about a couple weeks before the draft and Kevin Colbert. And I really liked what they were talking about. And so I'm just excited they got, they picked me and they gave me a chance.
I like that.
What has been the communication like since being drafted? What has been, I guess, the process like with, this situation, how it is right now?
Yeah. So on draft day, I talked to the GM, Coach Tomlin, the D-line coach, and the PR people, and then they kind of gave me a break for a couple of days, and then I went right into meetings with Coach Dunbar for about 2 weeks, And then we had rookie minicamp, and now we meet like 4 times a week with the team and position and all that stuff.
How do you like it? Like you mentioned rookie minicamp. I mean, it's all on Zoom, all virtual and everything, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What is your opinion of it? What's your take on it right now? Like how it's going for you, how effective?
Yeah, I would really love. I like to be in person. I like to see faces. I like to, be there. But this is how we got to get it done. I don't mind the Zoom calls at all. It's very. We get good work done. We're still able to accomplish things we would do if we were in person. We're just losing that face-to-face contact. But everything else is pretty much the same.
And I was going to ask you, too, just your overall comfort level with the defense. I know my first couple of years playing here, I went from Dick LeBeau to Keith Butler, who's the DC now with the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember a lot of times, looking at the playbook helped out, obviously the board work, but then the walkthrough portions and actually being able to go through practices really, gave me a bigger boost. So what are some of the things that you're doing to, I guess, supplement and overcome the fact that you're not able to get those personal in-person type reps and things like that?
Yeah, Coach Dunbar, he gives us a lot of drills that we go through in meetings that we can do, on the field or however we're trying to train. But the system that the Steelers run is the same that I ran in Nebraska. Literally, same drills.
Nice.
So I know a lot of this stuff going in. It was just learning the terminology that they use because the terms are different, but they do the same thing.
I like that. Well, that's definitely good, man. Definitely good to hear. So the one thing that I got to ask you before I let you go, man, why should Steeler Nation be excited about you?
That's a good question. They're just gonna get a very energetic, hardworking, type of guy. I'm not a flashy dude. I don't like to really be seen out there, but I like to let my play speak for itself. And that's what I want to do with the Steelers and just build my career there. So I'm looking forward. It's going to be fun.
I like that, man. Carlos, man, we definitely appreciate you taking time to hop on the podcast with us, man. Wish you nothing but the success. Stay healthy, man, and we look forward to meeting you in person one day, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, man.